Hey everybody, this is the first sort of in visualizing walkthrough for the haunt this year, which after a few conversations with Katie, my wife, about like what I should do, and I wasn't even 100% sure I was even going to be in town for Halloween this year, but I got to plan like if I am, because I don't want to think I'm going to be leaving and then I don't have any idea of what I'm actually going to be doing, for Halloween. So I am going to actually kind of strip it down a little bit this year, which I know a lot of people, like all the new haunt vloggers and stuff, are kind of doing the reverse and going bigger this year and making more improvements. I I went like all out last year. It was definitely the most I'd ever done, and the forest part just killed me. Trying to get all that up, what the trees are made out of, and the fact of Florida weather, they can't go out before Halloween day. They can only go out like in the afternoon time, because if it's windy or if it rains at all, I'm completely screwed, and they're destroyed. They're just real thick corrugated cardboard, painted cardboard, so they wouldn't last. And that I had so many trees last year. I don't know. I think right around 20 trees or so, and so I just can't do that again. At least take a year off from it. And you know what? I've sort of done roughly the same setup in a couple different areas for 2 years now, like the Silent Hill section, and the where I do like the graveyard, like over here. I know it's like so overgrown right now, but I kind of tie these plants back and trim them up. But I've done like the same kind of theme. Like these windows have been exactly the same, the two front windows. So I'm gonna try to make it as different as possible. A couple of classic areas that I've done now for a long time. I'll probably just keep roughly the same. But anyways, so let's start walking through and use your imaginations, because obviously there's nothing here. All right, so this is probably going to be the start of the haunt this year. This is where it started 2 years ago. And I'm going to do, since I'm not really going to have any trees, I'm going to do rebar on both sides. Normally the rebar with all the pumpkins and barbed wire and stuff with the scarecrows just over here. This all gets tied up, to look like a big corn stalk. But I think I'm going to try to do like a tunnel and put it about, I don't know, this thick on this side, so I can put the Silent Hill scene that has the Rotten Hill prop from Pumpkin Rot and the ones I made, and I'm going to put those guys in here, and I want to try to make like a low wall of boxes with netting over them, like cardboard boxes and netting, just to kind of fill in, so it's not, I'd have to have thousands of pieces of rebar to actually create like a nice wall for this area. So I'll do probably a few sporadic sections of just boxes at different angles, to try to look like just junk piled in, to fill up the space, and then some of those guys will stand on top of the boxes, and then I might even, I don't know, maybe because I'm stripping it down, I've never ever had like scare actors in my home haunt. I take that back. One year I did, but I've always been more about props, and I focused in on that for years and years, and it's built up. But I think I could maybe throw in one or two people dressed up in a costume or something to scare. But that idea literally just came to me right now, and I know for everyone else, they have their main feature is having all their different actors and jump out scares and stuff. But that's definitely a more new thing to me. I think the one time I did it, we only had two people. So I've I've helped out back with some school haunts and stuff like that, where we had a cast of people. But for my own personal thing, it's always my own house. It's always been just about the props. And now I'm totally rambling. So anyways, back on track. So yeah, that would be all in this area. The scarecrow scene would still tie in here. I think I would do, let's see. Oh, I do the fencing, like I have all that wooden fencing I use for the forest. I probably do just on the backside of all the rebar, like a section of the fencing so people didn't try to walk through it or anything stupid, and have it go down the driveway just to kind of lead people into the entrance. Then the biggest change of everything is instead of having people walk through this area, which used to, the trail would go back through these trees and go over here, and then that's where the candy would be, and then turn around and go back that way. This whole area, I'm thinking about fencing off right here, right at the line where this window is, and stopping it right over here, because I want to do a more detailed scene. And one thing that me and Katie thought of last year was like the hardest thing to really do was try to find time to take really good pictures, and we ended up trying to set up little scenes like the day before Halloween, and then from like 10:30 to like midnight last year we just took pictures and tried to set up better lighting, and I'm like, we were trying to think, well, how can we get better pictures, and just be able to capture, the memory of it and everything like that. And the easiest thing that we were thinking of was, oh, well, let's set up a full scene in here, and we can do it any time of the year, and we could take some pictures. With me touring and our work schedules and stuff like that, we're never going to have the time. It's just, logically, there's never going to be a time where we're just able to, spend a day or two off and set up a display or something just to take some cool pictures. But it gave me an idea, is we were going to use this area to make a display, and it would be cool to just do an entire graveyard chunk, because this is a pretty big spot. And I don't have a crap ton of tombstones, but I have enough to make this spot look, good. And I have enough zombie, groundbreaker props and all the new ghosts. And I would just go all out in this square area. I do like one of the flying crank ghosts hung up in here, or maybe like actually in the tree up here. And his rig could, somehow strap up in here. That's the only problem, is trying, these trees are great, but they're not, none of them, most of them are palm trees and a cypress tree, so none of them have really thick, great branches to hang stuff from. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I know I could make it work. So we would put, like I could do flying crate ghosts there. I could do one of the other ghosts maybe hung up above here. And I love this bench because it's so fucking old and it's just falling apart and rusty, but I use it every year, and I normally use it over up underneath that window, but I think I'll use it in the graveyard this year. And this wall fell down, I think I mentioned in another video before, and I was going to tear all this out, but it was going to take forever. And this is a huge concrete, planter that goes all the way down there, about 20 feet long. And that's a lot of work. And I'm thinking it would be kind of cool. My dad actually came up with the idea of just putting the bench up on the planter. And then I have 2 fake stone columns, and I could put the stone columns on either side of the bench. Maybe, like I would trim up, I need to trim all these frickin' trees. This place is just covered in hangover branches, obviously. Everything, that's the other thing, is I can make this area, all the way up to here will be clear and see-through, so you'll get a lot better view in here. Right now it's just so overgrown. But and I could do like a cool scene with like the art, like the 2 pillars, and I put some moss or some spider web over top of the 2 pillars, and put something on the bench. I normally put, like I have the animated hex guy and bones, and I could do I could actually do a better, like I could make a grave and make a dug up grave with like some of the bones and stuff hanging out, like dig a hole right here, if they'll let me do that. There's going to be all new mulch in here, so it'll be interesting if he'll actually let me do that, or just try to dig out the mulch a little bit to make it look disturbed. But the best thing I can think of is that the fact that, and then the candy bucket, sorry, since you'd only be able to come to here, the bucket would be over here by this window, and I just do a different scene in this window, maybe like boarded up still, but with like a skeleton arm hanging out, and then have it rigged to where they'd reach for the candy and it would shake, just scare people. So there's going to be probably another video, part 2 to this, so peace.